We see Turk playing India. Heading towards the middle of the map straight away. He's gonna try to pick up these codes. Deciding not to go for this treasure. And somehow my movement of my camera is a lot quicker than usual. I guess one of these guys is just an absolute beast playing on like a very accelerated speed. And I believe that when you're casting, they will sometimes take over your game speed to the like to similar settings as the players. So actually Turk only getting one code in the end. Let's see if I can change this. It's a bit annoying me. Feel like if I just do this, yeah, now it's back to my regular old man slow speed. All right, so let me introduce them a little bit. This is I think this matchup is as old as Age of Empires. Turk against Kaiser. I feel like I might be mistaken here, but I think these guys have played each other a lot over the years. Turk these days not really active in the scene, but managed to sneak in the tournament as the 4th seed of the group. Playing India, and I think this is one of his favorite civs. And then Kaiser, who is still pretty active. Actually, he has quite a lot of games on the E. And playing Germany, also one of his mains. I think Germany and France are probably his favorite civs.
Yeah.
I missed a little bit of the game because I was a little bit distracted with other stuff, but he just did the regular German things where you go for hunting dogs straight away. And India just going for the trickle. And let's see what he's gonna do in terms of his age up. I wonder if he's just gonna aggro fort at home or do something else. There's nothing wrong with high camellar acceleration, it's just everyone is accustomed to their own settings, and yeah, I'm an old man, I'm slow, I'm better playing with a bit slower settings. He's gonna be aging up here. Let's see what he chooses to do. He did send a Vil forward, so he's gonna aggro him mid-map. A little bit of idle time. He does have to boot for a Vil, but it seems like he's not remembering to train them. But it wasn't that much. Alright, so his monks are currently split off, which means he basically can't take this treasure unless he has the monkey around. He has it here. So you can actually take this treasure with just a stun and a monkey. Should be relatively easily. But Kaiser also sees it now. But he's gonna be busy building a TP at this time in the game. So yeah, roughly like 340, or like that's when Germany is in the middle towards aging, which is usually around 340-ish. That's usually when they're getting a TP. So I would have tried to go for this treasure, realizing that your opponent's explorer could never be in the area. But he's taking quite a while to do it, which might result in a treasure contention. But I think this is one of the things that Turk is known for anyway. He just sits around at the treasure and then he always ends up getting them. Like if there's any player that you don't want to have a treasure contention with, it's Turk. He just always gets them. Alright, so going for a Rex. which makes sense against an area fort. You just want to be training crossbows. Looks like Turk got impatient and wanted to go for the treasure, and that's exactly when Kaiser showed up. Yeah, you just kill this. You kill this so quickly in H2. The monkey actually does quite a bit of damage as well. So just nuking the treasure. Oh, he's actually training pikes first. Okay, so he's afraid of some sort of foresawer first push.
Bereit.
India shipping wood. And just training a couple sepoys.
Ich bin verwundet und kann mich nicht bewegen.
So he looks like he just wants to be FFing. Losing both his explorers to a 2 Ulan pickup. He does get a stomp, which allows him to do a little bit of retreat damage, but losing these monks is pretty important. Turk deciding to cancel the coin and ship the trickle instead. The boat just messing up a little bit in H2, and I imagine, yeah, oh, Kaiser already shipped 700 coin, so he's gonna pick up these trades and look to H up, I assume. Like with Germany, you just basically always want to end up in H3, and you just train a couple units in H2 sometimes in these sort of matchups to make sure that you're safe enough to H up. And right now he probably feels like, alright, I have some expos, I have a couple spikes, I should be fine. And, you know, these guys being dead matters a lot, because they can be incredible in fights, especially if they get some stomps off. I think I'm going Pavil. Trying to go for a second even. He does get it. It cost him 2 Ulan, but that's still a good trade for him. And meanwhile, the expos are just pushing the army away. So I think both of the players are gonna look to age up here. Turk also shipping coin now. And Germany's already aging. Alright. Oh, he does decide to get this stack first. I think that might be a little greedy. Like, you want to just get your age up in queue as soon as possible, and then I would probably prefer to get the stack after you're aging. But he decided to do it now. He's still gonna have enough coin, so I guess it's fine for him. He really needs to get this hunt in. Germany's already up, so he could end up being under quite a lot of pressure. Alright, actually aging with the Taj Mahal. This is the Siegewire one, right? Yeah. So this is not common. Most people will age up with what's it called? The wonder that gives you the Menzotars and gives you the Mahout on age up. So let's see what Germany is shipping in. Alright, he's shipping war wagons, training some skirms. And I think he's losing some Ulans that he was trying to raid with. But those were just 2 Uhlans. And I think this army is probably big enough that he's gonna want to push out. And I think he's probably macroing towards getting mercs. So either Jaegers or Black Riders. Probably Jaegers, yeah, Jaegers makes a lot of sense. So he's gonna have a big advantage in the Skirm War for quite a while. Jaegers is a really strong shipment. And he's already ahead on the Skirm count anyway. There's 8 Gurkha here, and he has basically 14 ranged units. Adding a stable. I imagine at this point he just mainly wants to be training from a stable. He's already gonna have a lot of skirms with the Jaegers. So probably just gonna train some war wagons. Make sure he has enough anti-cav. Turk managed to pick these guys back up and is now healing them. You can see that they're like together they have like almost 1300 HP. And mainly the snare can sometimes really turn the fight around. So not that much happened yet in this game, but I do feel like Germany got a decent lead. They picked up, I think, 3 vills in total. And they also got some pretty good trades with the Expos. Just in time, pulling the vills inside. So now it looks to be like a little bit of a skirm war, and Jaegers are... They always perform really well on these. So shipping 10% stats for his units. Not deciding to try and get some sort of unit pop on their Zagor fort, like maybe if you manage to ship Mahos or Yorumis or something like that right here, could be dangerous for Kaiser. But just deciding to tack up his units instead. And meanwhile Kaiser's going Veteran C and going first big shipment of 9 Ulan. And I think he's quite low on anti-cav. You could see that he was he had a zapping queue, but he actually cancelled it. And this Ulan shipment that's coming in, it's just arriving. They're also veteran, like I said. They could end up getting a lot of value. He does lose quite a lot of units here for now. Oh, deciding to ship Gurkha, I would really prefer to see the Zam. And just get veterancy and then ship 9 Zams. So you at least have some sort of anti-cav. I think this could turn out to be a huge mistake for him. What is he gonna do about these Ulans? Alright, I guess ceasefire is, is his answer. Yeah, he does realize that he should change the shipment now. He hasn't managed to repair this Zagor fort at all. At this point, I would probably just decide to sack it. Like, you just leave it and try to fight it out at a later point when you actually have the Zams coming in. But he decides to stay around. The Zams is he gonna be able to pop them here? Yeah, okay, he does, just barely in time. So Germany did just get 320 XP from killing the Zagor fort, and XP is one of the most valuable resources to Germany. They get these insane shipments, like 8 skirms and 3 Ulans and stuff. It's a lot of value. But I think Turk is in a fine position. Nice blocking there from Kaiser. Wow, that was really impressive, being able to get that Vil. Turk did decide to drop a second DC as well, trying to get some map control. And a bit of boost to your eco, being able to train more Vils. So he's fallen off a bit in the skirm count, like he had the advantage with the Jaegers, but he's investing into Ulems now. And I think that might work out pretty well for him actually, because if these Zams get overrun by Ulems, they... Like if you ever get these Zams fighting Ulems, they can melt. So Kaiser just going Cav combat here, makes a lot of sense.
Bereit?
And I expect him to just try and mess up more Ulems, and then at some point be able to ship the 8 Ulems, and that's probably go time. But maybe he already feels like this is actually go time right now. Looks to me like this is all gonna come down to one big fight.
Hallo?
Even dropping an outpost just to make sure that
Ja.
he can secure this position.
Aufgabe?
This mine and these hunts are really important for him. So now that he has the outpost, he can actually send his units elsewhere. Otherwise he has to be able to guard it. These sort of raids are really annoying to deal with while you're playing. Yeah, no Mansabdar because he ate stuff with the Ceasefire Wanderer instead.
Bereit? Auftrag?
Losing quite a lot of hills.
Ja.
Haven't been able to track it exactly, but pretty confident that he's lost like 10 this game. He's kind of running out of gold mines. I guess he still has this one. But it's important for him to start securing this. He's on Brit Consulate, just getting some musk.
Ready.
It'd probably be nice to just send them somewhere here, like just try and do some GOA raids with them.
Ich bin verwundet und kann mich nicht bewegen.
Alright, so what did Kaiser ship? I guess he... I don't know actually. Oh, it says here he shipped more skirms. Alright, so he feels like this is go time. He has 30 Ulems on the field. He's trying to get everything in there, it looks like. And the Zems are not fighting yet. So, connecting already. Turks seem to be busy with something else. The Ulamas is dwindling really fast though. But they got some decent value, they connected on the skirms for a while, on the Gurkhas.
Es geht mir besser.
Alright, Kaiser deciding to go for Cav HP, not going for the 8 Ulans yet. Just want to buff their stats even more. Yeah, I think that big fight just now, it was a decent trade for... Basically for either it wasn't the end of the world, but I think it was slightly better for Germany. Just because the Zems were a little bit late on reacting. And he managed to pick off quite some Gurkhas, and he killed another couple of hills that were in the mix from mining. So India is never really pulling ahead in eco this game, which is basically what you want to be doing as India. He did send this card, which is 30% attack, which is very significant for your Zems. No, Turk 8 with the Taj Mahal. So a lot of awkward fights coming out, but I think Germany is slowly pulling further and further ahead. And gold mines are always really important for Germany, but he still has this one to go. He's kind of nicely spread out on them, so that when they do finish a mine, it doesn't mean that his entire economy is idle. Alright, so another big raid going on for the Ulans. I think Kaiser probably feels like this is where he wants to fight. He's trying to connect onto the Gurkha. The Zems are a little bit on the side. So he's just kind of using his Ulans to pull ahead in the skirm town. And he's doing a good job of it. Most of the Gurkhas are going down. Only 18 left. Now he just needs to not die to these mammoths. Now it's 14 Gurkha against almost 30 skirms. And this is where Zembareks are not that good in these sort of fights. It's very important for them to be fighting Cav. They have a 3.5 multiplier against Cav. So sometimes in these fights, when both players are just left with skirms mostly, goons can still trade somewhat okay, but with Zems it's a little less the case. And if he finds these vills, looks like he's running there. That could spell disaster for Turk. Oh, he does still have the ceasefire available to him. But even if he managed to get away, even if he gets all of these in the town center, how are you actually gonna defend this position? So, he is shipping the mammoths, so I guess this is his hope. His army is a bit out of position though. Like, you want to be popping the mammoths here. And then all of his units should have been here, then he probably could have won this fight. But now it's just mammoths fighting Ulans, so they're just gonna melt. I like the decision to ship mammoths. I think it was his best opportunity to get back in the game. But he actually needed to have all his units at the same place and then hope to really crush a fight. I think at this point he's probably just lost. Yeah, so no way to save these vills. Alright. Very nice game from Kaiser. You can pretty much see that this is his main civ. And once you get all these upgrades going on your units, they get pretty insane. So let's hop into game 2, which is actually game 1, because somehow these wrecks got turned around. Not exactly sure what happened there, but this is Dhaka, so this should be game 2. Alright, let's see what we got. We got Kaiser playing ports. Pretty good map for ports. I wonder if he's just gonna waterboom with schooners. I think it's great to do that on this map. Somehow my acceleration speed got changed again, so I need to fix that up. That's better. So I think this is a great map to do a waterboom, but I know that Kaiser isn't really a fan of that sort of playstyle, so he might just do something else instead. And then Turk playing is Japan. This might be the civ he's most known for actually instead of India. I feel like maybe some people that know Turk better than me could let me know in the chat. But I feel like this is probably actually his main. Just gonna update the scoreboard. So we see this one. Oh, I meant to give Kaiser a point, not Turk. Alright, so this map, you always spawn with 6 yaks. Kaiser going for a TP, and he's not chopping wood, so he's gonna go for a 10-10. Trying to pick up some cows so he can eat them. I imagine he wants to just eat them ASAP. And Turk finding most of the cows. Because he didn't have to build a TP. And he also has an additional scout. A little bit of a treasure contention on this 50 coin, and this is gonna be luck of the draw who's gonna get it. It's gonna go to Turk. Alright, guys are not picking a deck just yet. That could be on purpose to not let your opponent know what you're planning to do. Yeah, I was expecting something like this out of Kaiserklein. Oh, not even 2 Vels or anything in deck. So if it ever comes to some sort of pond fight, you will not have the option to do so. Going to just do a 10-10 ATP build instead. So I think when you see port on a map like this, you will most likely just expect a dock to be dropped here and some sort of schooner water build. But instead, Kaiser plays a different sort of port where he's never been a big fan of water play. Just gonna go into ATP and try to get 4TP stagecoach, I imagine. And let's see what Turk's got in his deck. So Turk shifted 3 boats, and he's on port consulate, and he might also get the 3 boats on age up if he chooses to do so. Not that much water play besides that, just having a couple of boats in deck. And then fighting the last cow. So he basically found 5 of the 6. And I think guys already ate the other one. He's standing here as if he's gonna try to take a TP, but he's nowhere near having any sort of wood for that. He's gonna 8-up with the shrine, I think. Does it show you anywhere? Well, it basically looks like the shrine, so. So Kaiserklein, a little bit of idle time, but that's okay. Shipping wood is gonna be looking to get stagecoach, I imagine. He even sent a Vil forward as well to just make sure that Turk doesn't sneak a TP away. And I guess he's just gonna drop a Rex here or something with that Vil soon. Alright, probably making a wall here, just to make sure that there's no units gonna run through the center of the map. And that actually, if he, like basically if he has a wall here, he can't be raided because he should see everything coming from either from the vision of this TP. Like there's a very small choke in which between units could run around and try and raid you, but that sounds close to impossible, so a lot of map control coming out for Kaiser. Oh, I like that actually. Instead of deleting the pillars first, you just only build the wall segments and then delete the pillars. Maybe that sounds silly, but that's something I never thought of doing. That does make it easier actually. Oh, dropping the Rex at home actually, that's interesting. So I was kind of expecting him to make his infrastructure like over here, right by his TC. But looks to me like he's just gonna be producing pikes from home, gonna try to siege down some shrines. And meanwhile, Turk is shipping the boats. I guess he's gonna ship them to the plant. Let's see if he changes the flag or not. Oh, I just requeued it. I guess he was like, oh shit, I can't find my flag. Yeah, because I expect him to want to drop it off here. And these flags can sometimes be a little bit hard to find. I don't think there's any sort of hotkey for finding them. If there is, I don't know about it. Yeah, so Kaiser just has some pikes on the field, he's stacking stagecoach, chipping coin. The flag did get moved now, so the boats will be spawning here. And he can probably take down this TP. But I don't imagine he's going to be able to take this one down with the TC firing at him. He doesn't know about the TC, okay. So that's why he decided to do this. He only sees the TC now. If you want to play this map, you need to have a mod installed. It's not in the regular map pool. So this TP will take a bit, but eventually it will go down. And remember that Kaiser doesn't have any boats in deck, so he can't ship boats in the front of his own. These Vils are being trained in a bit of an awkward spot, so we just saw one of them dying to a bit of an SC raid. So Kaiser is looking to age up here. He's stacking a shipment, and he will actually have 2 shipments in H3, so he's going to be able to get a lot of those strong cards in. He's going to be losing this TP, I imagine. He's been doing a good job of cleaning up the shrines. He doesn't see these, but if he ever spots them, he can just send the pike there. But what is Japan doing in the meantime? He's gotten most of his mark attacks. And you do actually spawn with 2 cherries on this map. And I don't think there's that much happening, so I could quickly talk about this part of the map. So as you can see, there's a ton of berry bushes here. There's about a little over 30 of them, I think. Well, actually, no, even more, I guess. And then the native post gives you the ability to get this stack, which increases berry gather rate by 40%. So if you ever manage to take control of this part of the map, like you get a TC going here, you get some map control on all of these berries, and then you get this stack. This is insane. Like this is a very heavy eco place. There's even 2 5k mines. So basically, this is where you want to be on this map if you're not on water. Like the water is also quite filled up. I think there's usually 6 wells on this map. So the eco options that you have on this map are, generally speaking, either trying to go for this part of the map and taking the control of all the berries, or trying to take control of the water. He did find these shrines, so he's going to be able to siege them down. This TC got spotted, but it will go up. And let's see what he's shipping. Alright, so he's shipping Castadors and he's training Kolv. This Kolv will be able to deal with the fumes, I guess, quite easily. They outrange them by a little bit, so he shouldn't really be taking any damage while doing this. He's gonna one-shot this. Yeah, so they do 400 damage a shot, which is exactly the amount that you like. So 2 calls is the exact amount to one-shot a Caravel or Fume, because they do 40 times 10. So if he manages to see the boat, he does. Yes, he can kill it. And now that he has his artillery advantage, he's just gonna train organs, and it's gonna be real difficult for Japan to deal with that in H2, but he's already aging. Gonna try to take back the Steepy first. Japan also has 2 shipments stacked, but now you're kind of in a weird position where you're shipping flaming arrows, even though your opponent already has skulls on the field. That feels awkward because you're kind of playing into your opponent's hands. But you need to be able to deal with the artillery. I guess probably trading Yabusame could have been a better choice. He's just shipping some goons, making sure he has enough anti-cav in case Turk is going for a Nagi switch instead. Because obviously he doesn't have the information that we do. Turk is stacking a lot of res. It looks like he wants to go H4. He's still on Port Consulate, which makes your H cheaper, so he's going to be able to afford it now. Yeah, he is going to H. So just constantly kind of fighting over this TC. He's gonna run into organs, probably gonna lose quite a bit of units here. Oh, never mind, that was not the volley that Kaiser was hoping for. But these calls are just gonna see the flaming arrows, and yeah. I feel like this was really quite a poor choice to ship 2 flaming arrows while you know that your opponent has calls out. He's getting a castle up. So I guess his game plan is to ship 4 flamings and then upgrade the flaming arrows in the castle. But I still feel like you're sort of playing into your opponent's hand that already has calls out. I think that trying to go Yabusame as artillery would have been a lot better. Alright, so a lot of his economy is idle at the moment. And it's all gonna depend on how is he gonna do with his flaming arrows. Losing a lot of vills to an organ volley. Even more. I think he lost like 8 in total there. That was pretty nuts. Shipping his flaming arrows to the daimyo. And I don't actually know if this stack also gives him range. I don't think it does. 28 range. I don't really know what their base range is, so but I can't imagine that the tech gives range as well. Maybe someone in chat knows about it and could tell me, that would be nice. So he's now sitting on 8 flaming arrows. And Kaiser just kind of ending this positioning for now. Oh, he's going Mams, okay. He's gonna get a volley over the skulls. Picking up at least one. These have the lock. Yeah, they're gonna kill a second. This one is just surviving on 0 HP. If Kaiser managed to see that, he could PC fire it down. Or a Minuteman. Yeah, so I feel like he's kind of just waiting to get his Mams. Could even consider going for an arsenal here. Maybe get counter infantry rifling on your Cazadors. Another flaming arrow going down. You can just see this SMS is really doing anything in the meantime. So once these Mams arrive, I imagine they could probably just clean everything up. Actually, the army is pretty much already gone. Mams should be somewhere. Here they are. But I feel like Ford is already winning without the Mams, so once the Mams actually arrive, then I can't really see a way for Japan to hold this. Stacking a ton of wood as well. It's kind of in an awkward position because you need to start shipping the 2 cherries. You're running out of food. But you also need to reinforce your army to make sure that you don't actually die. Now the Mems are still not showing up, they're just chilling here for a little bit. Alright, not much happening for a little bit, but now he's gonna push again, and I just don't feel like Japan has a big enough army to ever kill these Mams. He's shipping Ashes, which is what he's gonna need. But like I said, it does result in him being just out of food altogether. Oh, that was a huge volley. Cazadors perform extremely poorly against artillery. So even though these boys are gonna go down now, I assume they already got their value worth. This has been quite a good trade for Japan. He's just macroing towards getting flaming arrows. Like no food income whatsoever. And until he secures this position, he does fend off the push quite impressively. Like, I was kind of expecting Kaiser to just win the game right there, but seems to be a lot closer than I expected. Alright, so he did get the... He got the berry bush upgrade, so you could see these vills with pretty decent gather rates on the berries, which I was talking about before. Trying to take control of this position, which is basically where most of the res on the map are. Stacking quite a bit of wood. Should maybe just send some vills upwards. I did manage to get in the arsenal for the counter-infantry rifling. So as long as he can deal with the flaming arrows, is the man back on the way. Then the Castadors should be able to kill the rest. Another nice volley coming out. But Mems are just extremely tanky, very powerful unit. Especially when it comes to like small number fights. Like if you just both have like 100 unit pop army, then the Mems aren't that big a deal anymore. But when you see these fights where both people have like 20 units, then Mems just don't really die. So he's shipping Ashy again, so still no orchids, or I probably butchered the pronunciation, but and he's retraining this guy. But I feel like against counter-infantry rifling Castadors, you're kind of just probably need Yumis. I don't imagine just trying to go flaming arrows the entire game is gonna work out, but Kaiser kind of realizes training goals, getting the arsenal tech for them as well. He just changed his TPs to coin. He's already stacking a ton of wood, which we'll probably just slowly be able to spend throughout the game. Yeah, so these vills, they don't even have refrigeration, and they're getting almost 1 foot a second, which is quite fast for vills to be gathering berries. But that all comes down to that native tech, which gives them the 40% bonus. That doesn't show up when I hover it, but we've looked at it before. So these mems are all pretty, well, not all, but 2 of them are pretty low HP. And Kaiser is just gonna try to pick up some flaming arrows with his calls. He does see it. And he's close to maxing out on vills, so his economy is in an insane spot. And Turk is like, let me get some of these berries as well, mate. But Kaiser doesn't allow it. And like I keep mentioning, he still hasn't shipped the cherries, so he's completely out of food. Kaiser even going industrial as well. Getting a lot of value with his calls. Yeah, this has a flaming arrow in queue, but it's just gonna die once it pops out. And this unit can be extremely strong in fights sometimes, but it's just being focused by the goons for too long, so it's just gonna die. It looks to me like this is probably gonna be the end of the game, and if it doesn't end here, I imagine Port just wins, going H4 as well behind this. I don't think there's anything left in the tank for Japan. It's kind of you can just like the resource coming in. If you compare this to port, there's just he just has all this control over this these resources. Even made implantation already, which might be a little bit early, but yeah, he's just gonna be able to deal with this raid, and then I imagine he's gonna push in as soon as he gets his guard attacks from H4 or something. And the SGs are just kind of melting through the Cazadors, which have these attacks in, especially counter-infantry rifling, just adds a lot more damage.
Obrigado por teres pago o resgate.
Alright, so Kaiser just hit H4, and yeah, makes sense. No real point for Turk to play on from here. He has literally no units left, I think. I don't see anything other than Vils. So that's gonna be game. So good game to Kaiser. Felt like this TC was maybe a little bit awkwardly placed. Should have maybe been a little bit more like closer to the pond, or even on your own side or whatever. But besides that, it was a good game. Good game from him. And yeah, that's gonna put us at 2-0. And I'm gonna head into game 3. Alright, this is Pampa Sierras. And again, it's doing the camera thing. And so I'm pretty sure that this means that this is the speed that Kaiserklein plays at. Which makes sense for it to be pretty high. He's one of the best mechanical players that we got. So I think I can just put it on some 19. Yeah, alright. And this is my speed. I feel like such a noob compared to him, but okay. So we just see everything running to this island straight away, or I don't know if you can call this an island, but the cliffs. This is where all the llamas spawn. Yeah, so basically both of them kind of getting their own half of the llamas, it looks like. So both should end up on about 4. I think actually maybe exactly 4 for both. It looks like Turkish is gonna go port consulate. So no aggressive agenda with like Japan consulate or anything, just playing it more boomy. And this is a matchup I've played quite a lot as Dutch, and I always really struggle to play it. I usually end up trying to do something in H2 at least, like trying to get some pikes on the field, trying to take down some shrines, play a little bit aggressive. I feel like if I just play passive, then I just end up losing to Yumi in the end. So I wonder if Kaiser agrees with me that you do have to make something happen in H2, or that you can just try a naked FF or something. It's a matchup that I've played it a lot, but I still haven't figured it out, because I most of the time I just end up losing it as Dutch. And I haven't really been playing Japan as of late, so... Picking up some food, which is always really nice, especially when you're playing an Asian civ. Because you can just keep your field production going as soon as you have your wonder up. So you never have to consider cutting a vil to age earlier or anything. It just, you know, your age up time, it just decreased. I see Zuda in the chat asking who I am. So that's one of the most painful moments in my life. That the big Zuda doesn't know me. Japan even might get this 90 foot. It's gonna depend on the Divine Strike, which he does get. He's barely gonna be able to get it. If he didn't get the Divine Strike earlier, then he would have probably lost his Explorer. He's idling his TC a bit. A little bit slow. He was probably too busy microing his Explorer. Like just because of how much food you have stacked, you can probably just pull all your vils off of food. Like normally speaking, you want to keep 6 on food to get your vil production going. But with the stack that he has, I would just get literally all of them off alpha food. And drop as many shrines as you can. Did you just make a GoFundMe for me? Right, we just see this is just standard Dutch stuff so far. Chucking these boys onto coin to make sure to get a vil on queue on time. And yeah, just gonna get back into food. Could probably ship 700 wood here. Just get your infrastructure growing. Oh, I didn't actually spot this, but he decided to age up with the Torii Gates. So this is a more aggressive option that you can go for. Torii Gates gives you more experience points whenever you kill something. And you also get the military rickshaw and the samurai. So deciding to not play this out in an economic way. Which is a bit surprising that he did go for Port Consulate, because I think together with Torii Gates it's more standard to go Japan Consulate. The samurai does manage to pick up the explorer and also prevent your opponent from seeing anything else. But Kaiser basically knows what's going on. He knows there's a Torii Gates up, and he knows that there's most likely some aggression coming. The Torii Gates is kind of meant. Torii Gates, you basically usually want to go for it when you're constantly fighting and getting a lot of experience. But his build seems a bit strange to me, because he's going 4 vils and 600 wood. Well, 600 wood first, of course, and then 4 vils. Which is very standard to do if you're going for the Shrine Age up, because it's like the more economic option. But when people age with the Torii Gates, they usually go for like a Daimyo or shipping Ashes, or you know, you want to usually be on Japan Consulate to get your clubs and get your extra stats on your units. So this seems like a little bit of a weird, like everything he's done so far indicates that he's aged up with the Shrine, but he didn't. So the combination seems a little bit weird to me. Let's see what Kaiser's response is gonna be. He's already on 4 banks and shipping wood now, so he could, and he's also stacking up the food to just get a fit bank.
Ja?
No tech just yet, but he's chopping up the wood to get hunting dogs, I assume. And if he sees this on time, he shouldn't really lose any vils to it, but he does.
Klar. Ja?
So these Ashes have 24 attack because he's on the Port Consulate. Which means they need 7 shots to kill a vil, but if you're on the Japan Consulate you only need 6 shots. And now some skirms coming out, which should be able to send Turk on his way. Alright, so this is pretty interesting that Turk basically just plays pretty passive overall. He went for he did a pretty decent shrine broom, port consulate, like everything is standard except for the wonder. I'm not really a fan of this, but one thing that this can do is that it can make your opponent expect some sort of aggression, and then you could really be investing a lot into H2, and then all of a sudden you're just actually not playing aggressive. So it could sometimes mind you game your opponent. In my own opinion, this matchup is Japan favorite, but I'm probably not good at the game to really decide. I feel like matchups and stuff, it's like people are quite often, when they lose a game, they will just blame the Civ, or like they blame the weather or whatever they want to blame. But it doesn't usually depend on the matchup. Like most games are just decided by skill difference or strat difference or whatever else. But at least if you want my opinion, I would say that in general it should be Japan favored, I think. I just feel like Dutch kind of struggles against a lot of Yumis. So we see both players aging up. He's going up with Shogunate, which will give him a lot of experience, and I wonder if this experience coming in, is it also increased by the 1.5 times from this wonder? I don't actually know, but we're gonna see how much XP he's gonna get. Yeah, so he just got 300 XP, which is the base value of the Shogunate. Yeah, you can see ships a daimyo and 300 XP. So it was not increased to 450 from this wonder. At least I think currently this one is 1.5 multiplier, and it was 1.6 in the past, but they nerfed it. But pushing it with Ashy seems like you're just gonna bleed some units to skirms. Yeah, losing 3 Ashies. And he's basically going for a similar build as last game, where he's just gonna go Ashy Nagi, Ashy Flaming Arrows, I meant to say. Alright. Popping them forward, but he... Ooh, this could be really bad. Oh man, just gonna lose the shipment to 3 Hus. Losing H3 shipment to an H2 shipment, that's gonna suck. And now it just keeps on charging into the skirms, but you're just kind of getting picked off by the... Like your Ashy mass is just dwindling. And he really needs to get this daimyo out of here. He could pull trick it with his Ashies, but no, he's not gonna manage. The Rider should get another shot off. Oh, it just barely went into Fog of War. Oh wow, that was so close. Does he still find it? Ah, Turk pulled it off to the side. Alright. Well, that's massive. Keeping the daimyo alive is pretty nice. But I felt like that Turk was absolutely terrible for... that trade was absolutely terrible for Turk. Yeah, I kind of mentioned this a couple times, but I feel like just going into a Yumi against skirm fight is just way better for Japan instead of doing the Flaming Arrow push. He's stacking a ton of res. Still on Port Consulate as well. I feel like if you want to go for a build like this is the aggressive options in terms of wonders, you could have just had like 10 clubs and then you wouldn't have lost the flamings to the 3 Hus. And now Kaiser doing a good job splitting off his Reuters, sending Minutemen in, or in melee mode. I'm not sure that's great, but sending Minutemen in as well. Just gonna pick this up. And the skirms are kind of just chilling till the flaming arrows are gone. And I imagine he's gonna pull them into the fight soon. So Turk's plan of just going for an overwhelming push of 4 flaming arrows is kind of failed. And now I feel like you could still be somewhat okay going into Yumi's now. Oh wow, okay. So he just sold a bunch of food to go Ronins, okay. But okay, well this could miraculously work out. This is one of the things that you run into playing against Turk. It's just you don't know what the guy's gonna do. He is gonna lose quite a lot of vills here. And seeing as that he's getting 16 XP, I guess the Wanderer still get, I think, 1.6. I thought it was nerfed to 1.5 at some point, but it wasn't. Don't lose your Daimyo. Just barely getting it out of Fog of War again. So if the Daimyo still had enough HP, he could maybe sneak it in and then pop the Ronins in the middle of the Reuters. Oh no, he can't lose it before the Ronins. Oh god, now it's gonna be shipped at home. So this all comes down to losing that HP on the Daimyo earlier. If he had enough HP left, he could have popped the Ronins on top of the cannons and it would have been insane. But now they're just gonna be popped at home. And he really invested a lot into getting this. They cost 1k coin. And he even sold a lot of rest to get them. And yeah, I wonder what's he gonna do with them now. Like, unless you got a really sick pop with them straight away into an army. I'm kind of questioning what their use is gonna be in this game against Skirm Border. Just to me, like, they're most likely just gonna get kited to death. So yeah, I think Dutch is in a very good position here. Like, he's going for a Nagi switch now, so he just really hates Yumis. And I guess it makes sense, like they're, oh god, it's gonna be terrible. Right, let's see what these bad boys can do, I guess. Like, it makes sense to not go Yumis here, because there's already Falks on the field, and you're no longer able to ship Flamings. So just banking on some sort of Huss switch, or I mean Mega switch, it makes some sense, but yeah, he's gonna go for this big surround play. I feel like it's not gonna work, but the Ronins are in a good position. They're gonna get spotted by these warders maybe. Let's see. Alright, well now we can see what Ronins can do against warders. Holy shit. Alright, the Falks do go down. But now it's all gonna be about, can he get more value with the Ronins. So you want to get the Nagis onto the square. Oh my god, this could be such a good fight. He just needs a couple more Nagis to get on top of the skirms. Just look at whenever these guys can get their attack off. Wow, what a fight. That was insane. I was just expecting this to be game, to be honest. Like, don't question Turk. That's basically what I see now. Like, I must not be the only one that when they saw the 5 Ronins just thought, alright, these guys are just gonna end up dead. But somehow he got so much value from them. So I'm gonna probably say this for like the 6th or the 7th time of the game, that it's still the right time to switch into Yumis here. Like, just stack Yumi now, you're gonna get the cherries coming in, you're stacking wood. I don't care, get like 4 barracks for all I care. Just get your Yumis going. Meanwhile, Dutch is just going infantry combat, trying to get his skirm count back up. He basically had to sacrifice all of them before, when the Ronins chased off his warrior mass. Alright, so we do see Yumi tech coming in. Probably, yeah, I would probably even add at least another Rex. And he can also train from the Daimyo. He does. He needs to get a rematch, and he needs to get it quick. Dutch could try to get some Valks again. Alright, so I think he just sold some wood for coin. I was thinking that maybe he's going Ronins once more, but he decides to just go 9 Yumis. He should also start spending his export now that he's on Japan consulate. Probably just get the archers, I don't know their name. Oh, he was trying to get a second TC up, but it's gonna be sieged down by a couple pikes. Yeah, what are their names? Alright, I still don't know their name, I'm not gonna make an attempt at that. So this TC was almost built and then it went down, so that really sucks for Turk. Right, so now there's 30 Yumi in the field. Now he's on Japan consulate, there's a daimyo here. Just the one tech and they're already on 26 attack. I think these units are just insane. And yeah, Dux has sent 2 upgrades for his skirms and he's still 4 attack down on them. So yeah, I feel like this should have just been his game plan all along. But he went for a different route and the Ronins were pretty spectacular as well. So these guys can also go invisible, so I mean it won't matter in this game, but they can be a really good raiding party if you abuse the invisible mechanic. So he got the tag that you can get bigger batches out. And it looks like he wants to do some sort of naggy switch again. But I feel like there's just too many warders in the field. Kaiser seems to be... Depends whether he decides to finish the batches. Yeah, he does. Okay. I was gonna say maybe he's looking to age up, but he's just gonna finish his batches instead. So it's kind of funny that he decided to go counter-infantry rifling the moment that Turk stopped training Ashis, I believe. So he hasn't gotten much value from it. He did get a native. Let's see. So coin cost reduction for Dutch, that's pretty good. And then also 50% siege. And this is kind of a card that you only, or a tech that you only want to click on when you're 30 minutes into the game. Or when you're in desperate need of coin. Right, so Turk has his naggies on the field as well. But yeah, how many warders are there? 30. Also Cav combat. And he even got the arsenal tech as well. Mixing in some Haas now. These boys have all these upgrades on them as well. I feel like the riders might be a little bit too far forward, but never mind. Seems to be working out for him. And now that the front line has died, I think this is just going to be a cleanup. Alright, GG coming out from Turk. And that leaves us to a 3-0. Which was somewhat to be expected. I mean, I feel like Kaiser has had Turk's number for years, and Turk isn't even that active in the game at the moment, so. Not really a surprise here, but still impressive gameplay coming out. I think Turk, you can see that the mechanics are still there, it's just the builds are a little bit off. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see if he decides to play more games and get back into it, or if he's just not really caring overly much and just playing a couple games and calling it a day. I hope all of you enjoyed my casting. This is going to be it for today. And yeah, I hope there will be a lot more casts over the weekend, maybe even tomorrow. See you boys around. Thanks for the love on my casting. I appreciate that a lot. All right, see you guys.